Okay, so today with sword and dagger, we're gonna concentrate on Marozzo's more general ideas and not the specific plays. The specific plays are obviously very important because they show us the flavor and the tactics, but the more general ideas or the general theory is equally important. Okay, but we're gonna start with the warm-up first. So the first warm-up is just to do free play. We're gonna go free play with Henkka, throwing strikes, and using the stuff that we already know. Nothing more fancy than that. Just warm up with nice technical free play. And put your masks on. Go. Okay, so today we're going to look at how to use falso dritto, especially in Marozzo's plays. We can find 3 common ways that Marozzo uses across the board with sword and dagger, sword and buckler, sword and smaller buckler, and sword and cape, sword and rotella, and so on. But it's a common theme in Marozzo's plays. The first way to use it is to play the game so that we have our exchanges, okay? And when Henkka goes to throw me a cut, either to find my sword, maybe to enter into stretta, or actually try to reach me with a thrust or cut. So when we move around, and when I see that Henkka goes with mandritto, I can sidestep and throw falso dritto at the hand, and then if it lands, as usual, exit the measure. Yeah. So now the next task I'm going to give you in your free play is that you take turns completing the task. So the task is still at me. We're going to do free play with Henkka as usual. Yep, like so. And my task is to find the moment for falso dritto in the hand, and then finish the play, we reset, and go again. Yeah. It's still free play. You only take turns in completing the task. Yeah. And when you do free play like this, don't give it for free to your training partner, but still provide them the chance to complete their task because this is the task. Yeah. Okay, go. Okay, the next way to use falso dritto in Marozzo's plays is to create the tempo and create the situation to enter. Okay, most of the time Marozzo uses it to prompt to reaction from the opponent so that I harass Henkka until Henkka attacks me. For example, throwing the falso dritto like so until Henkka gets tired of it and attacks, and I get my moment to enter with my technique. But now we're going to use it in a different way. I'm going to harass Henkka. Henkka is just going to stand there and take it. Okay, I create the tempo in this way. Obviously, I'm not going to throw it in the same way for five times or so. I'm going to throw it a few times, okay, and then use it to enter in the distance and attack. And then the free play starts, of course. Yeah. So create the tempo by throwing the falso dritto. Yes, so create the tempo by throwing the falso dritto. One thing that the opponent can do is that when I'm throwing the falsi here, okay, if Henkka wants to deny my throwing of falsi, he can enter into cinghiare porta di ferro. Yep, like so, because this closes the line of the falsi, like so, and this forces me to enter, and then the free play starts again. So it's a tool that you can use. You should probably agree with your partner, are you going to do it like so? But it changes the game a bit. So if Henkka doesn't do it, I get to choose when I enter from my falsi. But if I throw my falsi, and when Henkka enters into cinghiare, that's probably going to make me to engage with my attack. Yeah. So you engage your opponent with one of those 2 ways, and then the free play starts, and then you play it out when somebody gets hit or you just separate in a natural way, you go again with the other guy opening the play with falso dritto. Yeah, let's go. Okay, so the last approach to using falso dritto is something that you can find also in all Marozzo's weapon combinations. In most of Marozzo's plays, or in all of Marozzo's plays, he shows the engaging part, which is usually the provoke or invite, then the attacking part, and then the exit part. And this that we're going to do now concerns the exit part. The usual thing that Marozzo does with the most weapons is exit through Guardia di Faccia. Okay, so let's say I've attacked here, I poke Henkka, then I exit through Guardia di Faccia, something like this, to cover myself after wounding Henkka. Another option Marozzo gives us, instead of going into Guardia di Faccia, you can throw falso dritto while stepping away. And now we're going to use that idea. So whenever I attack Henkka here, okay, attack again, like so. If I manage to wound Henkka or not, but when the time comes to back off, I'm going to throw falso dritto either to leg, to dagger hand, to sword hand, or if Henkka's dagger is in another place, maybe even to head. But in any case, cover my retreat with falso dritto. In a pinch, I could use it so that if Henkka has evaded my attack and he comes at me here, I could just cover with falso dritto. So any combination that you finish, you can exit the range by throwing falso dritto. Yeah? So it's a very versatile tool that you can use whenever you attack. And this is something I consider one of Marozzo's like general rules what to do when you fight. It's not a specific play, but a specific idea, a general idea that you should do when you exit the range. Yeah? These don't get, in my opinion, enough glory or the amount of glory that they should, because most people just concentrate on the specific plays, how to do this and that. But if you, for example, remember Marozzo's advice from sword and dagger section, what to do after I do low mount to the legs, the next option or the next thing I should do is always reverso. Because let's say I threw a cut to Henkka's leg, he evaded, now it's time to protect myself while I back up, reverso works. Or if I throw the cut to the legs, Henkka hasn't backed up and Henkka is still there, I can enter again with reverso, and so on. So it's the same kind of general thing, general rule or piece of theory that you can apply in many, many places. Yeah, so general tactic. Now, let's practice this. So, we do free play, we have tasks, and my task is, when I attack, always retreat with falso dritto. If I can make it hit, it's good. If I can't, I'm still covering my exit. Yeah, let's go.